Spider-Man, brand new day heads for a massive global opening at the box office. The article opens with the observation that Hollywood's superhero boom ended years ago, yet Spidey apparently didn't get the memo. The Sony Pictures release, the 11th big-budget Spider-Man blockbuster since 2002, sold $360 million in tickets across North America from Thursday through Sunday, according to RunTrack. That domestic figure of $360 million puts the film in rare company, essentially matching the inflation-adjusted haul of Avengers: Endgame. Directed by Destin Daniel Cretton from a screenplay by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers, the film was projected to pull in roughly $572 million overseas from 73,500 locations, pushing the worldwide opening tally to $932 million. The overseas projection of $572 million from 73,500 locations underscores the film's massive international footprint. Sony invested an estimated $225 million to produce the PG-13 picture, not counting marketing expenses, and ticket revenue is split roughly 50-50 between the studio and exhibitors. Marketing expenses are not included in the $225 million production budget. To accommodate unprecedented demand, many multiplexes devoted nearly half of their weekend showtimes to the movie, double the usual share for an event film, with new screenings launching as often as every 15 minutes. Such saturation, nearly half of all weekend screens, is virtually unprecedented for a tentpole release. Research firm Intelligence estimated that 24.1 million people in North America would see the film over the frame. That translates to roughly 24.1 million tickets sold in North America alone. Tom Rothman, chairman of Sony's Motion Picture Group, described the rollout as a runaway train and sounded genuinely shell-shocked. His description of the rollout as a runaway train captures the sense of a release that simply overwhelmed expectations. Before opening, National Research Group had forecast a modest 195 million domestic haul. By Saturday, Sony revised that figure upward to as high as 325 million, and stronger than expected walk-up sales forced another bump by Monday. The repeated upward revisions, from 195 million to 325 million and then higher, illustrate how quickly walk-up business accelerated. The picture resonated powerfully with Generation Z, the cohort born between 1997 and 2012. Analysts point to the youthful cast, Tom Holland returning for his fourth turn as Peter Parker, alongside Zendaya and Sadie Sink, and to story beats that foreground mental health struggles, loneliness and the feeling of being unseen by loved ones. Greg Durkin of Enact Insight noted those themes are precisely what drives Gen Z turnout. Durkin specifically cited mental health struggles, loneliness and the feeling of being unseen by loved ones as the emotional hooks driving younger audiences. In the story, Parker grapples with rebuilding his life after losing the personal connections that once defined him, leaving him isolated as he faces a fresh threat. The narrative centers on Parker's attempt to rebuild a life stripped of its former connections, leaving him isolated as he faces a new threat. Producers, including longtime franchise steward Amy Pascal, who has been attached since Sony first licensed the character from Marvel in 1999, deliberately centered Parker's inner turmoil. Pascal's long-standing insistence on Parker's emotional core has shaped the franchise since the original licensing deal in 1999. The New York Times report, filed by Brooks Barnes from Los Angeles, makes clear that while the broader superhero wave may be receding, Spider-Man remains a box office juggernaut. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.